who would be a gunslinger that you would not want to face out on the dusky?
Oh, geez, it happens all the time.
I've seen it, and I'm getting there, but I'm saying just throw out a name of somebody that you like would think like, oh, that guy on the draw is hard to beat.
Oh, well, there's
It's
guys.
all in good fun, obviously.
Yeah, sure. Well, when you're in the situation, and if you have the confidence, and you decide that, well, I can only do the best I can do, then you're free, you're clear.
Okay.
But there's guys that if I was standing next to, I'd be like, if Alan Holdsworth was, I'd be like, okay, wait a minute, folks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could,
The reason I thought of this analogy in speaking with you was when I saw you guys in Dallas, and I don't remember the song you guys were playing, but you were out there with Yngwie, and you guys were kind of doing a trading back and forth thing. Do you remember the song you guys would do it on?
Black Star, I think.
Yeah, I think it's right. That makes sense, right? It's kind of a halftime, like right.
Yeah.
And you and Yngwie were having a lot of fun going back and forth.
Yeah.
And he played this one run, and he did some. I can't even describe it other than he started here and he ended up here. And
it's kind of hard to describe those things he does.
I mean, it was probably the greatest 10 seconds of guitar playing I've ever seen in my life.
No, right?
and then, he does this thing, and like a gunslinger, he puts this thing and you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And you literally went like, I'm taking this. And
I did that a few times with him.
And I didn't know if it was a shtick or whatever, but so I actually went back and found the clip. It's on YouTube somehow of that show in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, is this moment as good as I thought it was? and it was. It was some sort of crazy moment where it's like somehow in that all those years and all that discipline, and then obviously standing across from you, and you guys having a little bit of fun jousting.
Yeah.
And that sort of beautiful moment of like, wow,
yeah,
well, two gunslingers, and he got you good because you literally just go, okay, I'm done.
Sure, yeah, because Yngwie is a special case.
He very much is.
I loved the idea of being able to shred, as they say.
Yeah,
and I honed that skill. But Yngwie, when he hit the scene, it was a different kind of a shredding.
He drove us back to our practice.
Yeah. He let us know what.
I was like, what is Phrygian? It was like suddenly I care about the Phrygian scale because of Yngwie.
That's Yngwie, the Phrygian scale. But he had a different kind of approach from the germination of his interest, and that was violin playing.
Yeah, Paganini.
So Paganini and stuff. So his inner ear was hearing that kind of thing, which is not very. In a sense, it's not as guitaristic as somebody listening to Jimmy Page or that kind of thing. And when we get up on the stage together and we're trading like that, it's really it's a great moment, because Yngwie, standing with another musician and actually trading licks like we do and I do with all the G3, Generation X, all this kind of thing. It requires listening very intently and then responding in a way that, is appropriate. And with guys like Yngwie, you can't compete. Like if I'm with Joe Satriani or any of these guys, you can't compete with the best of them. They force you, if you're smart, to compete with the best of you. Like I have
that.
Yeah, I have to be more Steve Vai, that weird, quirky guy, than I have been before.
Yeah.
When, somebody does something that's the top of their game. So it's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
So when Yngwie does his, that monstrous kind of a riff.
What is that?
It's his thing, I think, it's part of the show. All because it's fun.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that.
Yeah.
But standing next to Yngwie will compel me, or Joe, or anybody. It compels you to reach into your taste.
I know there's various versions of it, G3 and the I can never think of the name, Generation X. Was that your brainchild, or whose brainchild was that?
G3 was Joe
Satriani,
and Generation X was something that I pulled together.
What I like about it as a fan of guitar playing and guitar players is that it shows that there's an esteemed club that you can reach, and yet there's a special camaraderie that goes on with players of that level. I don't consider myself in that league. I can play, but that's a different level, and it's so cool to see this sort of like, lack of a mutual admiration society.
Yeah.
Because guitar playing at that level is kind of a lonely thing, and in the world that you and I grew up in, it was more of a...
There's niche.
Well, it was also, I'm better than you.
There's a lot of that.
There was a lot of, like, I had to beat, again, the gunslinger thing. I have to beat you, because if I can't beat you, I don't win whatever game I'm after over here.
Yeah.
I think the game's changed in the last 10, 15 years where there's sort of more suppleness in the market for, like, hey, there's a lot to learn and a lot to enjoy, and it doesn't have to be defined by ego or who's the best.
Well, it's a crazy kind of a perspective because, as you know, it's all subjective. And the best may exist in things like sports, you know. But for instance, in the shredder world, back then, even more so now in the underground, there's evolution, you know, of the way these people are playing.
Well, when I saw you guys play, it was I can never say his name right, Abasi.
Tosin Abasi.
I mean,
all those,
totally from a different world than we grew up in.
Yeah.
And bringing in a whole new language, a whole new, even the guitar, the instrument itself.
Everything. Tosin's contribution to the formula was fantastic.
Yeah.
But the enduring feature of anybody that plays an instrument is going to be tied at the hip with the effectiveness of their melody.
Okay.
There has to be, there has to be melody.
Yeah.
Shredding is fun. It's fine.
Well, 8-year-old kids are playing Eruption now. So So that is the distinguishing factor.
Yeah.
Chops really are not. They're not less meaningful, but they're not meaningful in the way that they were at one point because it was an elite club who could play at that level.
Yeah.
Now so many people can play at that level.
And beyond. And I can tell you how to become a virtuoso very easily.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah.
I'm still after it.
Yeah. You have to practice nonstop and practice perfectly. And you have to practice fast. And you have to have bulletproof intonation. And this is a intellectual exercise.
Sure.
And when I was younger, that's what I did. I set the clock. And I set the metronome. There wasn't a lot of melody involved, you know. But luckily for me, I was a huge fan of like 70s top 40. I love melody.
Yeah.
So the ability to shred is fine and good, but without melody, there's no shelf in a performer's career. I'll even say that.